Beautiful soul, if you're watching this video right now, it's not by accident. God has orchestrated this divine moment because there's something your soulmate has been keeping from you. Something so profound, so life-changing, that when you finally understand it, everything about your love story will shift forever. I'm talking about a secret that goes beyond surface-level attraction, beyond compatibility, beyond even the deepest conversations you've shared. This is about what your soulmate sees in you that you can't see in yourself, what they've been praying about when you're not around, what makes their heart race when they think about your future together, and why they sometimes look at you with that mysterious smile, like they know something you don't. For over a decade, I've been blessed to guide millions of believers through their spiritual and romantic journeys. And what I'm about to share with you today comes from thousands of testimonies, countless hours of prayer and revelations that have transformed marriages and relationships around the world. But before we dive into these life-changing truths, I need you to do something for me. If this message is already stirring something deep in your spirit, if you can feel the Holy Spirit confirming that you need to hear this, please hit that subscribe button right now. Because what we're about to uncover together isn't just information, it's transformation. And I want to make sure you don't miss any part of your breakthrough. This isn't another generic relationship video filled with empty promises and feel-good fluff. What you're about to discover will shake you to your core, heal wounds you didn't even know existed, and prepare you for a love so deep, so purposeful, so divinely orchestrated that it will become a testimony for generations. Your soulmate isn't just attracted to your physical beauty or impressed by your achievements. They're not just drawn to your personality or even your heart for God. There's something deeper happening here, something that connects to your very purpose, your calling, your divine destiny. And today, we're pulling back the veil, we're exposing the secret. We're revealing what your soulmate has been keeping about you. So grab your journal, quiet your heart, and prepare to see yourself through the eyes of the one God has chosen for you. Because, by the end of this video, you'll understand why you were created for love, why your story matters, and why your soulmate can't wait to spend eternity discovering every layer of who you are. Let's begin. Number 1. They see your scars as sacred stories. Your soulmate looks at your brokenness and sees beauty. Where you see failure, they see faithfulness. Where you see mistakes, they see miracles waiting to happen. This isn't about them having rose-colored glasses or being naive about your past. Your soulmate sees your scars as sacred stories because they understand something profound about the heart of God. They know that every broken place in your life is exactly where God's light shines brightest. When you tell them about your deepest hurts, your biggest failures, your most shameful moments, something incredible happens in their spirit. They don't pull away. They don't judge. They don't try to fix you. Instead, they see the hand of God weaving a masterpiece from the threads of your pain. Your soulmate has been praying for you long before they knew your name. And in those prayers, God began revealing to them the beauty of your journey. They understand that your scars aren't flaws to be hidden. They're testimonies to be celebrated. Every tear you've cried has watered the soil of your character. Every disappointment has deepened your capacity for compassion. Every betrayal has increased your ability to love unconditionally. Your soulmate sees this. They see how your pain has made you powerful, how your struggles have made you strong, how your valleys have prepared you to appreciate the mountains. They've been keeping this secret because they know you're not ready to believe it yet. They know you still look in the mirror and see damaged goods instead of divine gold. They watch you apologize for your past instead of celebrating your progress. They hear you minimize your worth instead of maximizing your worship. But here's what they see that you can't see yet. They see how God has used every single experience in your life to prepare you for love. Not just any love, covenant love, the kind of love that weathers every storm because it's built on the foundation of shared scars and sacred stories. Your soulmate doesn't love you in spite of your brokenness. They love you because of what God has done with your brokenness. They see how your pain has made you tender toward others who are hurting. They see how your mistakes have made you humble and teachable. They see how your struggles have made you dependent on God in a way that draws them closer to heaven just by being near you. This is why they sometimes touch your face with such reverence. This is why they listen to your stories with such intensity. This is why they pray over you with such passion. They're not just loving who you are now, they're honoring who you've become through every trial, every test, every triumph. Your soulmate has been keeping this secret because they know the enemy has been lying to you about your worth. They know you've been told that damaged goods don't deserve pure love. They know you've been convinced that your past disqualifies you from your future. But they see the truth. They see that your scars are not your shame. They're your strength. They see that your wounds are not your weakness. They're your wisdom. They see that you're broken. Places are not barriers to love. They're bridges to deeper intimacy. And they can't wait for the day when you finally see yourself through their eyes, through God's eyes, as a masterpiece in progress, a testimony in motion, a love story still being written. Your scars are sacred stories, beautiful soul, and your soulmate is honored to be part of the next chapter. Number 2, they know you're destined for greatness together. Your soulmate carries a secret that would blow your mind if you truly understood it. They know you're not just meant to be together, you're destined for greatness together. This isn't about worldly success or material achievement. This is about kingdom impact. This is about divine purpose. This is about two souls joining forces to change the world. Your soulmate sees something in your combined calling that takes their breath away. They've had dreams about the ministry you'll build together. They've had visions of the lives you'll touch, the marriages you'll restore, the families you'll heal. They've seen glimpses of the books you'll write, the businesses you'll build, the movements you'll start. They know that your love story isn't just for you, it's for everyone who needs to believe that God still orchestrates fairy tales. Your soulmate has been praying about this destiny long before they met you. They've been asking God to prepare their heart, their mind, their spirit for the magnitude of what you're called to do. Together, they understand that great love requires great responsibility. They know that powerful partnerships demand powerful preparation, and they've been keeping this secret because they're still getting ready for the fullness of what God wants to do through you both. But here's what they see that you might be missing. They see how your individual gifts complement each other perfectly. Where you're strong, they're willing to follow. Where they're strong, you're willing to trust. Where you both are weak, God is glorified through your dependence on Him. Your soulmate sees how your personalities create the perfect balance for kingdom work. Your passion ignites their vision. Their wisdom grounds your dreams. Your faith encourages their fears. Their stability strengthens your boldness. They've been studying you, praying over you, asking God to show them how to love you in a way that unlocks your full potential. They see gifts in you that you haven't even discovered yet. They see callings on your life that you haven't even acknowledged yet. They see a future so bright, so impactful, so eternally significant that it makes them fall to their knees in worship. Your soulmate knows that your coming together isn't just about personal happiness. It's about kingdom advancement. They see how your combined testimonies will give hope to the hopeless. They see how your marriage will become a model for others to follow. They see how your children will be raised in an atmosphere of love so pure, so powerful, so purposeful that they'll change their generation. This is why your soulmate sometimes gets emotional when they look at you. This is why they sometimes seem overwhelmed by the magnitude of their feelings. This is why they pray with such intensity over your relationship. They're not just falling in love with who you are. They're falling in awe of who you're becoming together. They see the ripple effects of your love extending far beyond your lifetime. They see the legacy you'll leave, the impact you'll make, the kingdom you'll advance. Your soulmate has been keeping this secret because they know you're still growing into the fullness of your calling. They know you're still discovering your gifts, your purpose, your divine assignment. They know that timing is everything in God's kingdom, and they're willing to wait for His perfect moment to reveal the fullness of what He's planned. But they're preparing, they're praying, they're positioning themselves to be the partner you need for the greatness that's coming. They're studying leadership so they can support your vision. They're deepening their relationship with God so they can strengthen your faith. They're healing their own wounds so they can help heal yours. They're becoming the person who can handle the magnitude of loving someone destined for greatness. Because that's what you are, beautiful soul. You're destined for greatness. Number 3, they pray for you. When you can't pray for yourself, there's something your soulmate does that would move you to tears if you knew about it. In your darkest moments, when you feel too broken to pray, too discouraged to hope, too wounded to worship, your soulmate is interceding for you. They're standing in the gap. They're fighting battles in the spirit realm that you don't even know are being fought. They're calling on heaven when your voice is too weak to cry out. This isn't just casual prayer. This is warfare prayer. This is the kind of intercession that moves mountains, breaks chains, and shifts atmospheres. Your soulmate has been given a burden for your breakthrough that goes beyond human. Love, it's a divine assignment, a holy calling, a sacred responsibility that they carry with honor and humility. When you're struggling with doubt, they're declaring your faith. When you're battling depression, they're speaking life over your mind. When you're wrestling with fear, they're proclaiming God's promises over your future. They wake up in the middle of the night with your name on their heart and your burdens on their shoulders. They spend hours in their prayer closet, not asking God to change you, but asking Him to heal you, restore you, strengthen you. They're not praying for you to become someone different. They're praying for you to become who you truly are, the person God created you to be before the world told you who you had to be. Your soulmate sees through the masks you wear, the walls you've built, the defenses you've created. They see the real you, the you that only comes out when you think no one is watching, and they're praying for that person to be set free. They're interceding for your authentic self to emerge without fear, without shame, without apology. This is why sometimes you feel a sudden peace in the middle of your storm. This is why sometimes you get unexpected strength when you thought you had nothing. Left ut, this is why sometimes you hear God's voice more clearly than you have in months. Your soulmate has been praying. They've been asking God to speak to you when you can't hear His voice. They've been petitioning heaven to send you signs when you need encouragement. They've been standing against the enemy's attacks on your mind, your heart, your destiny. But here's the most beautiful part of this secret. Your soulmate doesn't pray for you out of obligation or pity. They pray for you out of love so deep, so genuine, so God-breathed, that it compels them to their knees. They can't help but intercede for you because your well-being has become inseparable from their worship. Loving you has become their way of loving God. Praying for you has become their way of serving thee. Kingdom. Fighting for your freedom has become their holy obsession. They've been keeping this secret because they know you struggle with feeling worthy of such devotion. They know you have a hard time believing that anyone would invest that much spiritual energy in your life. They know you've been disappointed by people who promised to pray for you but never did. But your soulmate is different. They understand that love without intercession is just emotion. They know that relationship without spiritual warfare is just companionship. They recognize that true partnership requires covering each other in prayer, especially when the other person can't cover themselves. Your soulmate has made a covenant with God concerning you. They've promised to stand for you when you can't stand for yourself. They've vowed to believe for you when your faith is weak. They've committed to hoping for you when your hope is dim. This is kingdom love. This is covenant partnership. This is what happens when two people understand that their relationship is bigger than their feelings, deeper than their attraction, more eternal than their earthly experience together. Your soulmate doesn't just love you with their heart, they love you with their prayers. And those prayers are already changing everything about your future. Even if you can't see it yet, the breakthrough you've been waiting for is coming because someone who loves you has been faithful in the secret place. Your healing is manifesting because someone has been declaring your wholeness. Your destiny is unfolding because someone has been contending for your purpose. That someone is your soulmate, and they can't wait for you to step into everything they've been praying for you to become. Number 4, they see God's handprint all over your love story. Your soulmate carries a secret that would overwhelm your heart with gratitude if you truly understood it. They see God's handprint all over your love story, every detail, every moment, every seemingly coincidental encounter. They recognize the divine orchestration in ways that would leave you speechless. Your soulmate doesn't just believe that God brought you together. They'd see the intricate tapestry of His perfect timing, His sovereign planning, His meticulous attention to every thread of your journey. They see how God prepared you for each other through every relationship that didn't work out. They see how He positioned you in the right place at the right time through circumstances you thought were just random. They see how He shaped your character through trials you thought were just unfortunate. Your soulmate has been studying your story like a love letter from heaven. They see how God protected you from wrong relationships that could have derailed your destiny. They see how He developed your heart through experiences that taught you what real love looks like. They see how He refined your spirit through seasons that made you desperate for His presence. This is why they sometimes get emotional when you share your testimony. This is why they listen with such reverence when you talk about your journey. This is why they treat your story with such honor and respect. They're not just hearing about your past. They're witnessing God's masterpiece unfold. They see how every broken relationship was actually God protecting your heart for them. They see how every season of singleness was actually God preparing your soul for covenant love. They see how every disappointment was actually God redirecting your path toward His perfect will. Your soulmate recognizes the supernatural signs that confirmed you were meant to be together. The dreams they had about you before they knew you existed. The prayers they prayed that described you perfectly before they met you. The scriptures God gave them about their future spouse that fit you like a glove. They remember the peace that flooded their spirit the first time they heard your laugh. They recall the confirmation they felt in worship when your name crossed their mind. They treasure the prophetic words spoken over them that make perfect sense now that you're in their life. But here's what moves them most deeply about God's handprint on your story. They see how He used your pain to prepare you for their love. They see how He used your struggles to make you appreciate their stability. They see how He used your loneliness to make you treasure their companionship. They see how He used your confusion to make you grateful for their clarity. Your soulmate doesn't minimize your suffering. They honor it, because they see how God used every tear you cried to water the garden of your heart for their arrival. They see how every prayer you prayed in desperation was actually preparation for the joy you'd share together. They see how every time you almost gave up on love was actually God strengthening your capacity to receive the real thing. This is why they love you with such reverence. This is why they handle your heart with such care. This is why they worship God with such intensity for bringing you into their life. They know they're not just loving a person, they're stewarding a miracle. They're not just in a relationship, they're participating in a divine romance that began in the heart of God before either of you took your first breath. Your soulmate has been keeping this secret because they know you sometimes struggle to see God's goodness in your story. They know you sometimes focus on the detours instead of the destination. They know you sometimes question God's timing instead of trusting His wisdom. But they see it all. They see how every piece fits perfectly into God's plan. They see how your love story is actually a testimony of God's faithfulness, His patience, His perfect timing, His redemptive power. They see how your relationship will encourage others who are waiting for their own miracle. They see how your marriage will become proof that God still arranges divine appointments. They see how your testimony will give hope to people who thought true love was just a fairy tale. Your soulmate looks at you and sees God's signature written across your entire existence. They see His protection in how He kept you safe until they arrived. They see His provision in how He sustained you through every season of waiting. They see His promise in how He never stopped working behind the scenes to orchestrate your meeting. And they can't wait to spend the rest of their life helping you see what they see, helping you recognize God's handprint on every page of your love story, because it's not just beautiful, it's holy. Number 5. They love your authentic self more than your performance. Your soulmate is keeping a secret that would revolutionize how you show up in your relationship. They love your authentic self more than your performance. They prefer your real over your perfect. They choose your genuine over your guarded. This isn't what you expected, is it? In a world that taught you to earn love through achievement, to maintain relationships through perfection, to keep people interested through performance, your soulmate is breaking every rule. They're not impressed by your ability to have everything together. They're captivated by your willingness to fall apart in their presence. They're not drawn to your strength when you're pretending you don't need anyone. They're magnetized by your vulnerability when you admit you need them. Your soulmate sees through the mask you wear for everyone else. The one that says you're fine when you're falling apart. The one that claims you're strong when you're barely surviving. The one that pretends you have all the answers when you're drowning in questions. And instead of being disappointed by what they find underneath, they're relieved. Finally, they think, finally, I get to love the real you. Your soulmate has been waiting for permission to love your mess. They've been hoping you'll trust them enough to let down your guard. They've been praying you'll stop performing and start being, because here's what they know, that you're still learning. Love isn't earned through perfection. Love is experienced through connection, and connection only happens when you're brave enough to be seen. Really seen. Your soulmate loves the way you laugh until you snort. They love the way you cry during commercials. They love the way you dance when you think no one is watching. They love the way you talk to God when you're frustrated. They love the way you care for others even when you're hurting. They love the way you keep believing even when life keeps disappointing. These aren't the things you put on your resume. These aren't the things you highlight on social media. These are the things that happen when you forget to be impressive and remember to be human. Your soulmate has been keeping this secret because they see how hard you work to be worthy of love. They watch you exhaust yourself, trying to be enough. They see you sacrifice your authenticity on the altar of acceptance, and it breaks their heart, because they fell in love with who you are when you're not trying to be anyone else. They fell in love with your bedhead and your morning voice. They fell in love with your questions and your doubts. They fell in love with your dreams and your fears. They fell in love with your worship and your wrestling. Your soulmate doesn't want the polished version of you. They want the real version, the one that gets excited about small things, the one that gets passionate about justice, the one that gets emotional about God's goodness, the one that gets silly when you're comfortable. This is why they create safe spaces for you to be yourself. This is why they don't judge your emotions. This is why they celebrate your quirks instead of trying to change them. This is why they encourage your dreams even when they seem impossible. They know that love doesn't flourish in the soil of performance. Love grows in the garden of acceptance, and they've been cultivating that garden from the moment they met you. Your soulmate sees your imperfections and calls them beautiful. They see your struggles and calls them strength. They see your questions and calls them growth. They see your emotions and calls them human. They're not trying to fix you because they don't think you're broken. They're not trying to change you because they fell in love with who you already are. They're not trying to improve you because they think you're already a masterpiece in progress. This doesn't mean they don't challenge you to grow. This doesn't mean they enable destructive behavior. This doesn't mean they don't have expectations. But their love isn't conditional on your performance. Their commitment isn't based on your perfection. Their devotion isn't dependent on your ability. To have it all together, your soulmate has been keeping this secret because they know you struggle with self-acceptance. They know you're your own worst critic. They know you magnify your flaws and minimize your gifts. But they see you through the lens of love, and love sees differently than judgment. Love sees potential where judgment sees problems. Love sees beauty where judgment sees blemishes. Love sees growth where judgment sees gaps. Your authentic self is not something you need to apologize for. It's something you need to celebrate. It's not something you need to hide. It's something you need to honor. Your soulmate is ready to love every layer of who you are. Are you ready to let them? Number 6. They're committed to growing old and gray with you. Your soulmate carries a secret that would take your breath away if you could see the full picture. When they look at you, they don't just see who you are today. They see who you'll become when you're 70, 80, 90 years old, and they can't wait to be there for every single moment of that journey. This isn't puppy love. This isn't infatuation. This isn't a temporary emotional high that will fade when life gets hard. Your soulmate is planning forever with you. They're already imagining your silver anniversary. They're already dreaming about your golden years. They're already looking forward to the day when your love story becomes the legend that your great-grandchildren tell their children. When they hold your hand, they're not just thinking about today. They're thinking about holding that same hand when it's wrinkled and weathered by decades of life together. When they look into your eyes, they're not just seeing your current beauty. They're seeing the wisdom that will shine from those eyes after years of walking through life together. When they hear your laugh, they're not just enjoying the moment. They're treasuring the sound because they know it will be the soundtrack of their entire future. Your soulmate has already made peace with the fact that your bodies will change, Your hair will turn gray. Your skin will tell the story of every year you've lived. Your energy will shift. Your priorities will evolve. And they're excited about every single phase. They want to be there when you celebrate your 50th birthday. They want to be there when you hold your first grandchild. They want to be there when you retire and finally have time to chase all those dreams you've put on hold. They want to be there when you need help remembering things. They want to be there when your body needs more care than it used to. They want to be there when the only thing that matters is the love you've built together. This is why they're so patient with your growth process. This is why they don't pressure you to have everything figured out right now. This is why they're willing to work through challenges instead of walking away when things get difficult. They're not looking for perfect. They're looking for permanent. They're not seeking flawless. They're seeking faithful. They're not demanding instant. They're choosing infinite. Your soulmate sees your relationship as an investment in eternity. Every conversation you have is building the foundation for decades of communication. Every conflict you resolve is strengthening your ability to weather future storms. Every moment of intimacy you share is deepening the well of love you'll draw from for the rest of your lives. They understand that real love isn't just about the butterfly moments. It's about the ordinary Tuesday nights when you're both tired from work but still choose to connect. It's about the difficult seasons when you have to love each other through grief, disappointment, and change. It's about the mundane moments when love is a choice, not a feeling. Your soulmate is preparing for all of it. They're not just planning the wedding. They're planning the marriage. They're not just thinking about the honeymoon. They're thinking about the home you'll build together. They're not just excited about young love. They're anticipating mature love. The kind of love that knows each other's stories by heart. The kind of love that can communicate with just a look. The kind of love that finds joy in simple moments. The kind of love that becomes more beautiful with every passing year. Your soulmate has been keeping this secret because they know you sometimes worry about the future. They know you wonder if love can really last in a world where relationships seem disposable. They know you question whether anyone is capable of loving you through every season of life. But they've already decided they're not going anywhere. They're not looking for an exit strategy. They're not keeping their options open. They've chosen you for the long haul. Through sickness and health, through richer and poorer, through better and worse, through young and old, through strong and weak, through easy and difficult. Your soulmate doesn't just want to start life with you. They want to finish life with you. They want their love story to be the one that inspires others to believe in forever. They want your relationship to be proof that covenant love still exists. They want to be sitting on a porch somewhere when you're both 90, still holding hands, still laughing together, still grateful that God brought you into each other's lives. This is the secret your soulmate has been keeping. They're not just in love with you, they're in love with your forever, and they can't wait to spend every day of the rest of their life proving it to you. Number 7. They believe you're worth every day they waited. Your soulmate is carrying a secret that would overwhelm you with its depth and sincerity. Every day they waited for you was worth it. Every lonely night, every failed relationship, every moment they wondered if true love really existed. Every prayer they whispered for their future spouse. Every tear they shed in seasons of singleness. Every time they almost settled for less than God's best. All of it led them to you. And they wouldn't change a single moment of their journey if it meant missing the opportunity to love you. Your soulmate doesn't see their waiting as wasted time. They see it as investment time. They see it as preparation time. They see it as divine timing. Every relationship that didn't work out taught them what they were really looking for. Every heartbreak showed them what they wouldn't accept. Every season of singleness deepened their relationship with God and prepared their heart for covenant love. Every prayer they prayed for their future spouse was actually preparing them to recognize you when you appeared. Your soulmate understands something profound about God's timing. They know that if they had met you any sooner, neither of you would have been ready for the depth of love you share now. They needed those years to become the person worthy of your heart. You needed those years to become the person ready for their love. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It wasn't delay, it was development. It wasn't God being cruel, it was God being careful with something precious. Your soulmate looks back on their journey and sees God's hand protecting them from counterfeits, so they could recognize the authentic when it arrived. They see how He kept them from settling so they could receive His best. They see how He used their loneliness to increase their capacity for companionship. They see how He used their questions to deepen their faith. This is why they're so grateful for you. This is why they don't take your love for granted. This is why they treat your heart like the treasure it is. They know how rare it is to find someone who loves God the way you do. They know how precious it is to find someone whose heart beats in rhythm with theirs. They know how miraculous it is to find someone who sees forever when they look into their eyes. Your soulmate doesn't compare you to anyone from their past. How could they? No one else is you. No one else has your laugh. No one else has your heart for God. No one else has your dreams. No one else has your spirit. You're not better than the others because you're perfect. You're perfect for them because you're you. And they've been keeping this secret because they see how you sometimes minimize your worth. They see how you wonder if you're enough. They see how you question whether you deserve the love they're offering. They see how you compare yourself to their past instead of celebrating their present choice. But here's what they want you to understand. They didn't wait all those years for someone perfect. They waited for someone authentic. They didn't wait for someone who had never been hurt. They waited for someone whose scars told a story of survival. They didn't wait for someone who had never made mistakes. They waited for someone who would learn from their failures. They didn't wait for someone who had all the answers. They waited for someone who was still asking good questions. Your soulmate sees your worth in ways that you're still learning to see it. They see your strength in your vulnerability. They see your wisdom in your willingness to grow. They see your beauty in your authenticity. They see your value in your heart for God and others. Every day they waited refined their understanding of what they were really looking for. And when they found you, everything clicked. Everything made sense. Everything felt like coming home. Your soulmate doesn't regret the wait because the wait led them to you. They don't resent the journey because the journey prepared them for your love. They don't wish things had happened differently because they can't imagine loving anyone the way they love you. This is why they're so patient with your healing process. This is why they're so understanding of your growth journey. This is why they're so committed to your relationship. They know what it's like to wait for something precious. They know what it's like to wonder if it will ever come. They know what it's like to hold on to faith when circumstances suggest giving up. And now that they have you, they're not going anywhere. You are worth every day they waited. You are worth every prayer they prayed. You are worth every tear they shed. You are worth every lonely night they endured. You are the answer to prayers they didn't even know how to pray. You are the fulfillment of dreams they were afraid to dream. You are the proof that God's timing is always perfect. And your soulmate can't wait to spend the rest of their life showing you just how worth it you are. Number 8. They see you as God's greatest gift to their life. Your soulmate is carrying the most beautiful secret of all. When they look at you, they don't just see a person they love. They see God's greatest gift to their life. They see divine favor wrapped in human form. They see answered prayers walking around in skin and bones. They see God's goodness, His faithfulness, His perfect love made manifest in your very existence. Your soulmate understands something profound about the nature of covenant love. You're not just their partner. You're their assignment from heaven. You're not just their companion. You're their calling. You're not just their choice. You're their divine appointment. When they hold you, they're holding a miracle. When they kiss you, they're kissing God's goodness. When they love you, they're participating in divine romance. This is why they worship with such intensity. This is why they pray with such gratitude. This is why they love you with such reverence. They know that loving you is their way of saying thank you to God for His incredible generosity. Your soulmate sees you as proof that God hasn't forgotten them. You are evidence that He hears prayers. You are confirmation that He keeps promises. You are demonstration that He rewards patience. You are manifestation that He blesses Asterisk's beautiful soul. These 8 secrets your soulmate has been keeping aren't just romantic notions or wishful thinking. They're divine revelations about who you are and why your love story matters in the kingdom of God. Your soulmate sees your scars as sacred stories because God has turned your pain into purpose. They know you're destined for greatness together, because your combined calling will change lives for eternity. They pray for you when you can't pray for yourself, because intercession is the highest form of love. They see God's handprint all over your love story, because every detail has been divinely orchestrated. They love your authentic self more than your performance, because real love thrives in the soil of truth. They're committed to growing old and gray with you because covenant love is an eternal decision, not a temporary emotion. They believe your worth every day they waited because your love is the answer to years of faithful prayers. And they see you as God's greatest gift to their life because that's exactly what you are. These aren't secrets your soulmate is keeping to hide something from you. These are secrets they're protecting until you're ready to believe them about yourself, until you can see what they see, until you can receive what they're offering, until you can step into the fullness of who God created you to be in love. But today, the secret is out. Today, you know, today, you can choose to see yourself through their eyes, through God's eyes, as beloved, as chosen, as worthy, as destined for a love story that will inspire generations. If this message has stirred something deep in your spirit, if you can feel the Holy Spirit confirming these truths over your life, I want you to do 3 things. First, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any part of your breakthrough journey. Second, leave a comment below and tell me which secret impacted you the most. And third, share this video with someone who needs to remember their worth in love. Your soulmate is out there, carrying these secrets about you. But more importantly, God is preparing both of your hearts for a love story that will glorify His name and advance His kingdom. The wait is worth it. The healing is happening. The love you're longing for is on its way. And when it arrives, you'll understand why nothing else worked out. You'll see why God's timing is always perfect. You'll know why your love story had to be written exactly the way it's being written. Because you're not just getting a relationship. You're getting a revelation of God's heart for you. You're not just finding a soulmate. You're discovering your destiny. You're not just falling in love. You're stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. The secret is out, beloved. You are loved beyond measure. You are chosen beyond doubt. You are destined for a love story that will echo in eternity. Are you ready to receive it? God bless you, beautiful soul. I'll see you in the next video.